The ones that get it use the technology and they grow very fast.
I do not want somebody Googling plumber near me or roofer near me.
That's the magic question. How do you stay in front of people? Give them the... Everybody, welcome back to the Exit Rich podcast. You already heard some of it. I'm with James Hatsfield, the Chief Revenue Officer of LiveSwitch, a pretty interesting technology that records and integrates into Service Titan. And now they added AI to it. But you guys actually, now when you're in the home, you can actually record the video. It's a live time feed, if I'm correct, right? You can sit there.
That's correct.
And you can actually coach your salesperson to what the problem is or your technician to what the problem is and help fix it. Welcome to the show real quick, James, and introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, Lance, thanks for having me. James Hatsfield, Chief Revenue Officer here at LiveSwitch. I come from home services. I used to live my life on a ladder, run crews. I had a painting power washing company, but I made the jump. I guess you don't want to jump off the ladder, but I came down the ladder and landed in technology and been in the tech space for the last 20 years building companies.
What'd you do with your home service-based company? Just sell it or just shut it down?
So I ended up just handing it off. I went back to business school and I let my crews keep going. And I ran into my business partner, who's still my business partner now, because he saw the problem that I was having as a business owner. I'd go to the bookkeeper and the accountant and they'd speak English to me. And I'm like, I don't understand what a word they're saying because I come from nothing. I come from blue collar family. My dad built his own home. Big dream for me was to own a painting company, which I did. And I just put myself back to business school while I was running my company so I could understand my numbers and get my mind on my money and my money on my mind. And so,
Okay.
yeah, man. Yeah, good reference.
Tell me what LiveSwitch does real fast. Tell me what LiveSwitch does.
Yeah, so we are a live video company and AI company. So instead of running up the ladder, you can now connect with your customers or your team from anywhere. They could be on a roof, they could be on the ground, and we can have a live video interaction, speed to lead, race to the face. We're trying to save trips in the windshield behind the truck for your project managers, your salespeople. And then if someone's up on the roof, we want AI to also inspect it and be kind of like a co-pilot alongside helping to diagnose the issues and record everything, document everything. Because as you know, documenting all your process and procedures raises the value of your company when you do go to exit.
I like the lead, the speed, the race, the face. I like that. I like that saying. Most people don't get that. But I'm just using, you said customers, right? You can't have a lot of customers that are FaceTiming you in or videoing you in to diagnose the problem because customers don't want to be bothered with that crap. Or am I wrong? Am I totally, Lance? No, you're wrong. Customers want to be involved. The do-it-yourselfers, I imagine, do. But a guy like me is not like, if you said, here, let me FaceTime and see the problem, I'd be like, what? Like, if you want to come out under my business and take care of the squeaky wheels, whatever that problem is, or not? I mean, talk to me about that.
You got 3 buckets of customers, right? You got the one person who is the tire kicker, has no business calling your company. Once they find out what the cost is, they're like, nah, I'll just get a couple pizza boxes or I'll figure it out. I'll just let it go, right? And they're wasting your time. You just drove out and back again for nothing, right? So we want to make sure someone's for real. So first of all, when I connect with you, phone, face, as a business owner, if you're worthy of me driving out. Not to sound nasty or arrogant, but at the same time, I got a business to run. And if you're kicking tires or using me for free advice, that's not going to work for us, right? So we want to get rid of...
I agree with you on that. There should be, your CSR should be vetting the problem and was other people out there, what's going on, how long has it been going? I agree with you. You should vet. You can't just be sending people out to every single lead. You'll spin your wheels. That's a great piece of advice for any home service-based business. What's your second bucket?
The second bucket is going to be your Amazon Prime customers. These are the people that got the money. They already looked at your reviews. They don't want it in 2 days. They want it in an hour. They're ready to go. They got the money. Like they've already, maybe even it's a referral. Like, all right, you just did my neighbor's house. Insurance has already approved all this. Just get out here. I'm
an Amazon Prime customer. My wife loves Amazon Prime. I like Amazon Prime. I'm going to assume Amazon Prime's the same as Instacart in your eyes. Well, Instacart person, right? I want my Outback Steakhouse. They bring it right to my house. It's there in 45 minutes. I'm a happy guy.
That's right. Nobody likes to wait for stuff. And I don't want to go stand in line. I don't want to wait around with my 4 kids for you to come by when it's convenient for you, right? Like I got a business to run. Like, just tell me how much it is. When are you going to fix it? I already got the money. That's the Amazon
The
Prime
third
customer.
bucket.
Third bucket is your 1-2 punch. Third bucket is you do the discovery, you know they have the money, or it's an even larger job, and you're definitely driving out for it, right? So you want to see and know they got money, and that's a likely opportunity. So that's the third bucket, and they're the ones that want to sit around the dinner table. They're the ones that want to shake hands. They're the ones that want you to meet their extended family before they sign any kind of contract, right? They're just kind of that's how they are, and we all know them, and that's been the traditional and most common way to sell, and that's not going anywhere. I'm not saying it's all going away, but I'm saying there's a buckets of customers that you don't need to go see, and there's buckets of customers that are just like, how much do I need to write the check for? Or
So tell us how Live Switch works. I know how it works, but the people listening to this podcast are like, Lance, why is Live Switch on your podcast? How's it going to help me grow my business? And I know it works. I know it helps people grow their business. So just tell us why, though. Tell us how it works and tell us the basic functionalities. And I know, let's leave the AI part that you're adding on last to the last piece. We talk about that. Fair enough?
fair enough. All right,
Because most people aren't going to understand that piece of it, but we'll get them into it.
we're gonna get them into it. All right, so when you get a lead, I imagine you're getting a phone call or a request to quote, or they're going through your wizard that's taking a snapshot of the roof line from a satellite, and they're going through your cart process so they can eventually meet your salesperson, right? Because you want them to get to that salesperson. So what we're going to do and how we're going to work is when you get on the phone with that customer, or they're on your website and they want to talk to you, we want to get a race to the face because people buy from people. When I go around and speak on stages and I say, hey, is your AI robot the number one salesperson? No. So what you're going to do, no apps required. And I'll talk about the origin story of this in a little bit because it'll make a lot of sense. But you can send a text right from your phone, tablet, or computer. I don't care what device you have. We're device agnostic. And you're going to send that text. The customer on the other end, all they're doing is tapping a text and saying yes. And then you're going to see them, they're going to see you, regardless of whatever device they have. And it's tuned up.
If I have an iPhone, I have an iPhone or an iPad, which most people have, I think. But then we do know about 50% of people are on Droids, right? So I just send a text. And it doesn't matter if I'm Droid or iPhone, and I can I don't use the word FaceTime, but you have a live stream there.
Yeah. You have a live stream setup. It's encrypted. It's SOC 2 certified. It's safer than a phone call. We have Department of Defense that uses our stuff. All right. So if anyone's worried about safety, I'm like, the phone call we're on is less safe. Anyway, so when we get video connected on the customer end, it's the reverse of a FaceTime call. So they're going to see themselves large and me small, and I'm going to have a virtual background, so I'm on brand, right? So it's already tuned up because some of us have crappy eyesight, like my big, thick Coke bottles on my face, that you get when you're in tech. I'm a sufficient nerd now. All right. So then that person you can walk them around the property. It can be a potential prospect. It can also be an employee. Okay, we can talk about operations as well. But you're saying text, and on your end, you can be on your phone, tablet, or computer. But a lot of guys are on their computer, and now they can see it large. And from their end, as the tech or the salesperson, we have laser guidance. You can put live laser guidance. Go this way, Lance. Go over here. Walk around there. Hold still. You can take remote photos right from there. You can share your screen if you need to walk them through a bid. You can take notes, and it all gets recorded, right? And in the cloud, nothing's stored on a customer device, nothing's stored on an employee device.
Does it get stored in Service Titan under the customer lid number?
Yep, absolutely. You can just go to connect, and we're right under the hood of Service Titan. If you don't use Service Titan, we're under the hood of Jobber, we're under the hood of Job Nimbus, we're under the hood of HubSpot. You can just use Live Switch from its own site.
Is Live Switch a partner of those companies, or do you have to API yourself and to make Live Switch work?
It's different for every company, but we have
Job Nimbus and these other platforms. Do you have? Because I know you're automatically API'd into Service Titan. Like I know you're already integrated. I'll use the word you're integrated into their system, right, onto the platform. Are you integrated into the platforms of these other CRMs you just said?
That's correct. And then everyone's a little different. Like with Service Titan, they vet everybody, and then we have to write them a check, and then we connect our APIs, and then we're there.
Correct. But I mean, it's a great tool for even those other CRMs. Like, I mean, not everyone listens to my podcast is on Service Titan. I mean, do I think a lot of them should be? Yeah, I think they should be. Do I like the other CRMs? Also, I do. I think it's part. But Live Switch, I know the product. I do like the biggest part I like about your product is this, and I think this is the part we really got to talk about. I do agree with you, being able to walk around the customer and send that text. Do I believe it's going to give you some insight? Do I believe as you're scaling to 20, 30, 40 million, you're going to have sophisticated CSRs that could do that? Probably not, right? I think that's great for a smaller shop, doing 4 million, 3 million, 5 million. I think to get 30 CSRs or 15 CSRs or 20 CSRs or 5 CSRs, all videoing, talking, communicating, understanding the problems, they're not going to understand the problems, right? So, what I do like this part is I like the fact that my techs for HVAC, for plumbing, for roofing, I'm out there at the job. They can now record, take pictures, put everything in. And if they get stuck in a situation, a lot of these guys have techs and leaders back at headquarters like we do. We can video in, we can see it, and we can say, well, listen, have you thought about this problem right here? Have you thought about this problem? And we're going to talk about how AI, you're using that to solve some of this. But people don't understand when you're building out this AI technology, it comes from all your own data and you're giving it the query response. Most people don't understand. And they get smarter and smarter as you give it more data, but you're ultimately giving it the query response at first. But we talk about that. Can you talk about how it helps your people in the field make better decisions and help sell and fix things better? Because I think that's your biggest asset. In my opinion, you might be like, Lance, shut up. That's not it. But
No, it's different for every industry and every company and every individual, but you're spot on. Like in operations, when you have a guy walking up the ladder, right, he's going to notice some things that a customer might not see from the ground. There might be cracks in the window. Gutters might be busted up. We get up on that roof, we might see some water damage, some wood damage. So now I can show and take a video. The customer can be sitting in the living room, or the senior tech can be sitting back in the office. And now the guy on the roof can, I was talking to Holiday Inn, the guy who takes care of all the roofs for Holiday Inn. He's like, I'm never getting on another roof again with your stuff.
why would you?
No need to. I'm sending the 1099 guy or my staff. I don't need to get up there anymore. Right. And so now you've got a recording of all that. And we'll talk about AI later. But now you can show the project manager, salesperson can show the customer, hey, here's the wood rot. Here's how much it's going to cost. If there needs to be a change order. If they're stuck, they're like, I don't really know how to fix this. Now you got your senior tech looking at it from the headquarters. And it's helping arm your team with the help they need to get the job done, but also upsell where upsell is needed.
Now, what I'm thinking about, James, just from the sales experience, I like experiences, right? Most people, when they go out to almost any job to sell, this is how it goes. Hi, I'm Lance Bachmann from whatever company, right? I'm here to look at your HVAC, your plumbing. Can you tell me what the problem is? Real fast. Can you show me where the problem is, right? No one says, show me where the problem is. Oh, great. I appreciate you showing me the problem. Give me about a half hour, 45 minutes, and I'll be back in touch with you, right? Now watch this. Hey, James, thanks for bringing me out to your house. I'm looking forward to helping you solve your problem here today. I want to give you a 5-star experience. So while I'm in your house, I'm diagnosing your problem. What we like to do is like to be transparent, authentic, and show you everything here. Can I get your mobile phone number here? I'm actually going to give you the option here to watch live time what we're doing, what we can show. And if you have any questions during the process, you can communicate right back to me. But if not, you just want to watch or keep it on your phone or on your television, feel free. But here's the link and let me know if you have any questions. And at the end, I'll give you a full report. Now think about that experience difference that they're giving the homeowner the opportunity to watch them assess what the issue is live time. And the homeowner might not even watch. Like, do you know how many times there's shit on my house that I don't even pay attention to? It's just background noise. Well, you just did what 99 other people won't do. So that experience makes that homeowner feel that much more trusted and safer with your brand. Or am I missing it?
No,
That's how I would use the technology.
Think about this. Remember back in the day when you unless you change your own oil, you go like the Jiffy Lube and you'd sit in the waiting area. They'd wheel your car behind the magic curtain. All of a sudden, some technician would come out showing you
Yeah.
it's time to do this, that, and the other. I don't know what they did, right? But they're working on my car. But now when you take it to certain automotive mechanics today, they're taking videos of all the work they're doing. They send you a link in your email and you watch it. And that level of transparency builds trust, and trust means money if you're doing the right thing. And so what we're trying to do is open up, to Lance's point. Now, here's the work we actually did. Now you have it on record in case you've got to come back or there's a callback or there's an issue. Maybe you just put up new wood or shingles or whatever. But if you took a video along the way, you've got that on record, on documentation for the insurance, for the customer, for the commercial client. It weaves throughout the entire piece, building that level of trust and transparency.
If you didn't hear what he said, trust equals money. I love it. That's an exit rich slogan right there. I like that. Trust equals money. And it's the truth. It does. So now you go through this, everything goes back into Service Titan or your CRM. That allows you guys to verify that the job's actually sold right by your salespeople too, though. I mean, that's protecting your company and your salesperson. Have you guys ever thought about that? Hey, listen, we got the whole thing recorded. We can show you the damage. We can show you what was done, and we can show you what we offer you. Because I'm assuming it's also audio recorded, correct? Also,
Audio, video, everything. If you share your screen, that'll get recorded too. Everything gets recorded.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to.
I mean, that's like almost like a little bit like almost like Rilla on steroids.
It is. And we're basically adding the NFL instant replay to your business. You've always had ears on your business. Now you're going to get eyes on every part of your business. And yes, you're going to have some of your team being like, oh, this is like, overlords looking at everything. I'm like, yeah, only if you have something to hide. If you don't have something to hide, this is going to protect your butt because you know when you're going to like it? When the customer calls back and said, your guys damaged all my gutters up there when you're up on my roof. And then you go back to your NFL instant replay and say, here's the thing. I've got a video of us even before we stood foot on your property, and those gutters were already nicked up. I mean, I hate to say that for you, but
Jim, I agree with you on this part. Is I have cameras around me all the time, as you know. Anyone sees me on social media, there's cameras on me from the time I'm up to the time I go to bed. And people are like, don't you ever get tired of the cameras? I'm like, no. I mean, I don't even notice the cameras. I don't care. They're like, well, how do you not care? It's such an invasion of your life. I'm not doing anything that I wouldn't do on camera, off camera. Like I'm not, besides being with my wife in a private setting, which obviously isn't on camera, right? There's nothing I'm not doing. Like, if you want to bring the cameras into my coaching room, feel free. If you want to bring the cameras while I'm coaching football, feel free. If you want to bring the cameras into any part of my business or personal life, my child, like if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to hide. Like, so when people say to me, sales guys are like, oh, I don't want Big Brother watching me. Well, first of all, Big Brother's watching you anyway. That's the government's watching you. So make no mistake about that. Number two, we're not watching you just to watch you. We're watching you to coach you, to maximize your money, and to protect our organization and everyone in it. And if you can't get down with that, you can't get down with me. I mean, is that the wrong thought process, Jim?
no, it's the right thought process because if you have the right thing, you got nothing to hide. And then it's also about communication and that transfer of communication. Because if everything's recorded, if my salesperson is selling world peace, we don't deliver that here. I'm glad you got the sale, but that's going to be on you to deliver world peace, my man. I know you got a high close rate from that, but we put roofs on houses, man. So like, let's compete in that way, right? And to your point, yes, we're going to use it as a coaching tool. We're going to use it as gold standard. I'm going to mark down, and you can tag things for training. So when a new person starts, here's how we sell. Watch these videos from our organization. This is best in class right here. Especially,
you guys have prompts for keywords. You have the AI that picks up on. Are they offering financing? Are they offering free multiple bids? Are they offering add-ons? Like, do you have certain key triggers that if it doesn't hit, it gives you a red light or a green light? Do you have anything like that?
so we're using big AI. Like this stuff, it is it's bonkers. Like, so when you go in there,
say we use big AI, and this is where like I just did a piece on AI. This ain't a shot at you, Jim. I believe 99% of the people that say AI don't even know what the fuck AI is and how it works. And it's a new buzzword, right? It's like when I got into digital marketing 25 years ago, everybody was just saying SEO, PPC, social media. They didn't know what it was. And there wasn't really even social media 25 years ago, but that's a whole nother conversation we talk about. But when people say AI, and just correct me if I'm wrong, when you say you have your AI that you're doing, it's you guys are taking all your information, all your recordings, you're building your own internal AI communication, meaning, just let me go here. I'm giving it all the information so it can make the correct answer of what we want it to be. And it gets better and better and better. But you have to feed the information into the system for you to get the output. And all that information, I'm assuming, is coming from you, your recordings, the information that you're providing, correct?
that's
It's not a third open. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to
Explain that to people. I just want to make sure, because people think you just go get this AI tool and it has all your answers for you. And I'm like, that doesn't work that way, guys.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no. The way that this works is when someone in the future tells you they have AI, it's going to be the same as someone telling you they have electricity. You're like, great, we all have AI, right? The next moat is the data moat. The data moat is what Lance is talking about. You've got to feed it the info. And we have thousands and thousands of hours of video, photos, and audio. So when you take a video recording, you're not just getting video data. I'm getting all the audio data. And in some cases, I'm getting other pieces from that information that's on the phone, right? Think of Bluetooth data coming, GPS, all kinds of things that we can get and add into the data. And you're going to want to have a data moat. So people who are not documenting, not recording, are going to be behind the 8 ball. So the faster you start documenting everything and putting it in the cloud, you're going to have a data moat.
yeah, I mean, so really, I try to say to people, and I say this all the time, data is your most powerful tool in any business, meaning not just your customer list, all your data. Like, people will say to me, and this blows my mind, you know, I say, who are you and what problems are you solving? And people say, I don't know how. I'm like, why don't you just go to your CRM, your CSRs, and just pull your number 1 through 5 things that you do, complaints. Like, people call you up. I got a busted gutter. I got a busted HVAC valve, whatever it may be. My air's not working. Like, they're the problems you should be solving with your marketing and your training, right? Like, people are like, well, Lance, what do you base your training on? I'm like, I base all of our training on 90% of our problems, which are normally 5 problems people call us for in our organization. Why am I training on the 10%? I'm going to have my expert leaders that understand our business deal with that shit. I don't need to train the other 90% of our employees on the 10%. I need to train them on the 90% to get true scale. Can you talk about that, how you're training your AI for that? Because you're always going to have the one-offs.
That's right.
But I'm assuming you're doing all your training and feeding the data for the 90%. So this way, when techs are out in the field, they have a problem, they get the answers relatively quick. Can you talk about that?
Yep. So you're going right down the line, which is beautiful. You got the AI first, then you got your data moat, and now what you're talking about is interface. Interface is called prompting. So the 5 things that Lance is talking about, he can feed that into a prompt and then say, hey, run that against that sales call we had, and did we hit all of those 5 things, and how well did we hit it, and then score my that salesperson and compare them to my other. So now you're going to feed it your recipe, and so now you're going to be able to put all those 3 pieces together between AI, data, and interface and prompting to get the results that you're looking for your situation and for your business and for that use, right? Like, I'm going to get a different prompt for my sales team than I am from my operations team, than I am from it diagnosing problems. So you're going to start to have what we're calling prompt packs. So Lance might come out and say, hey, I've got 15 of my prompt packs that you can put in front of your data and have it start to evaluate your business. So your recipe, your Coca-Cola recipe that you have, Lance, you're going to be able to apply that to the people you're coaching and training.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I like is, if you're familiar with the HVAC world, some of these manufacturers already have that for their techs out in the field. Makes sense. They have the prompts that give them that information. I don't think you're going to go down to the level of them, but as your library keeps growing and growing, you have real live time data, which people don't understand, you're probably going to wind up surpassing them, because they're giving you canned information. And that's not a shot to manufacturers. They can't do what you're doing. They're not going to be in 20,000 homes, the manufacturers, recording, cutting the data. They're doing group settings. You know what I'm talking about. They're manufacturing their data sets. You guys are actually getting the true data, going through it, and then the AI sifting through it, sorting it, bucketing it, and then giving it back the right answers.
Yeah.
And you guys are then going to obviously quality check it to make sure it's correct, I'm sure. But that's a whole nother conversation. We talk about the quality checkings of insurance. But, here's a question for you. Why are most organizations not going to this? Because LiveSwitch has how many home service-based customers?
Thousands of users, all in different industries.
But there's millions and millions and millions home service. This is a shot. There's only 14,000 users on Service Titan, and they're a publicly held company. People don't understand, like that's Like, that's not a lot but it is a lot, right? When you think about it, but it's not really a lot, right, Jim?
Correct.
And you don't need to have a big market penetration to have yourself a hell of a company in home services,
Yeah.
because the ones that get it use the technology, they use the right products, and they grow very fast. The ones that don't get it are constantly spinning their wheels. Can you
Right.
talk about that? Because I mean, you have thousands of customers. You've seen success stories and you've seen horror stories at this point.
We've seen it all, right? We got in because we are one of the few companies in the world that do live video. That's why we're under the hood of Service Titan. They don't do live video, and bless their heart if they ever do. It's not easy. So that was our way to get in, to get this information.
It's also big money to do live video. It's also a lot of regulatory to do live video, true live video where you're secure, everything else. You
Yeah,
can't
we had
go out there and
SOC 2 certification where Department of Defense uses our stuff. Like,
I know what you guys have to go through, because people just think, oh, I can go shoot a video, record it, and API in. No, it doesn't work that way.
not at all. Not.
I'll answer the question. I apologize. I got a little.
No, you're doing great. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but we're bringing the stuff like we did during COVID when NBA had the bubble and filled the stadium and WWE filled the Thunderdome. We powered all that. We reinvented 911 phone call. We're bringing this technology back home for me, right? For me, it's a homecoming because now I'm not talking to as many of the nerds. I'm talking to my people, and we're getting stuff done. And we really talk about the practical and tactical, like the AI for the rest of us. We believe in one-click solution. Like when I was running my companies, I love starting my truck with one key turn. I love turning on the power washer with one pull. And they always try to give us a hard time as a blue collar folks, like, oh, you guys are the knuckle draggers of technology. I'm like, no, we're not. No, we're not. The problem with you engineers is you over-engineer everything. You've never spent a day on a ladder. I always make fun of my coders. I'm like, you guys all have soft hands, man. You don't know what it is to do that. You got to know us. Like we're up on a ladder, man. I can't be up there like entering in all this stuff in your CRM and going through 2 months of training. Like I need a one-click, one button. So anything we're doing is going to be, even with AI, one-click prompt, right? I don't want to go and train my CSR how to write a prompt. I just want them to get the money and do it the right way, how we do it. And then I want to evaluate him or her and make them better every day. Because my AI is like, I love Iron Man. I'm a Marvel guy, right? Like we're making JARVIS. We're making the Iron Suit. I still need the Iron Man inside of it. But I'm going to wrap you around with co-pilots to make sure you're giving your best and my company's giving our best. And I'm documenting everything because that makes my company worth more money.
What do you see the good home service-based businesses doing? I'm sure you're going to say lives, which is part of it. What else do you see them doing compared to the bad ones?
Okay. They think in recurring revenue. Okay. So recurring revenue minded home service folks are thinking about not just the job when it is needed, but one, before it's needed, then when it's needed again. Right. So how they're doing this is they're looking at markets that they want to be in and they're canvassing them with a race. There's a race going on to put QR codes on everything and own that part of the property. If I'm an electrician, I want my brand, my phone number, and QR code inside the breaker box. If I'm an HVAC guy, I want that HVAC unit. If I'm a plumber,
What about a roof? Where would you put it?
a downspout or a garage. So I got my roof done 2 years ago, and I cannot remember the name of the company that did my roof. And I have neighbors who are like, man, your roof looks great. Who did it? I don't know what to do. They didn't leave anything. Right. So it's not always just claiming that, it's claiming the neighborhood. Right. When I was power washing, painting homes, we had signs for a reason and that put them on a plan to say, let me come out here and reseal your deck every year and wash your house every year. I want recurring revenue. So what our companies are doing now with these QR codes, like with my HVAC issue I had the other day, my wife could have gone and scanned that and it could have said the name of our HVAC company, could have explained what was going on. The video automatically goes and pings the salesperson. It goes through AI, makes a guess on what the issue is to arm my salesperson. Salesperson calls and says, hey, Lance, we looked at the problem. We think it might be this. I've got a tech who can be out there. Here's how much it's going to cost. When are we coming out? I do not want somebody Googling plumber near me or roofer near me or restoration near me.
Not once you get them as a customer, you want to keep them, Matty. That's the magic question. How do you stay in front of people? Email marketing, social media. Once somebody's your customer, Give them the brand that they can't stand. When I say that, the brand they can't stand, the brand they can't stand seeing all the time. People say to me all the time, Lance, I see you on social media. I see you all the time. I'd rather hear that than I don't see you on social media. You have the right to snooze me. You don't like what I'm saying? You don't like what I'm doing? Snooze me. I'm coming back, though. Like, you're good. Like, as soon as that snooze alert's off, guess who's pumping up into your feed again? Like, you have to delete me, right? I'm not going to stop shooting content and moving the needle. I agree with you. Once you have eyeballs on you, Jimmy, you do not want someone Googling plumber near me.
I'm your plumber, right? And that's why I marked my territory like a dog. Like, I'm marking my territory, because what I want them to do is when they walk down, because everyone always looks at the problem. Like, if there's a crash on the other side of the highway, everybody slows down. I'm like, keep driving, people. But we do this in our home. Like, when the cold air wasn't coming out, where did we go? We went and looked at the HVAC unit. Like, we knew what we were looking at. But we do it. And so that's where I want to.
I took up a lot of your time, so I won't eat too much. You worked for PE firms. You were in the space. You understand it. You were part of platforms back in your day. Can you explain to people why PE firms don't just buy companies to wait? Like, people just think PE firms come in, they stroke you a check for 30 million, 40 million, 20 million, and it's a 1 week, 2 week process. And it's great. Nice to meet you, Jim. Awesome. Here's your check and go. That's what people, when I meet them, they really believe that. Can you explain to them why that's the furthest thing from the truth, and why PEs only buy 1 of 500 companies they come across?
Yeah, because they're looking for cash flow. We want it cash flow. They want money. That's what it comes down to. And they want to know that they can take over and that you can go bye-bye as the owner, and they can keep getting the cash. So if you got a key man problem, they don't want you. If your books are a mess, they don't want you. If you haven't documented all your process, they don't want you, right? They want a turnkey business. They're making that investment in your business. So it just comes down to cash flow, man. Like, and if you don't understand your cash flow, that's why I went back to school. I didn't understand what the CPA was saying when they were talking to me. So I went to business school and got my business degree so I could get on top of that. And that changed everything for me, right? So, and if you don't know, I don't know a lot of things. I go get a good professional. I get a good lawyer. I get a good CPA. I get a good person to document. I get a good tech person. If you want to exit, you got to maximize that exit by getting your ducks in a row, right? This is
Now, you don't realize it's a process. It's a process.
Yes.
It's a process. One last question for you. I'm going to let you go. What's the biggest advantage of Live Switch compared? Not only say other people's names, or please don't, because I always try to give everybody, because not Live Switch isn't going to be for everyone. It's not for everyone, right? But we know it works. We know it's a good product. But what do you think Live Switch difference is versus other people? Because I want people to go check Live Switch out. You know, I like the product. I like you guys. I think you guys are good people. I think you guys are trying to do the right thing by people. I think you're trying to constantly upgrade the product, which I think is good. I think a lot of people put products out there and they ride it till the wheels come off. You guys aren't one of those organizations. But what's the difference between Live Switch and most other tools out there similar to? Not all, but you have similar tools here. What's the difference, you think? What's your biggest go-home moment?
There's a lot of them. But when you call your customer and say, hey, I'm coming out to give you an estimate. I'm coming out. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. We already found somebody. Why did you lose? You lost because of speed. The best wide receivers in the NFL are the fastest. The people in the Olympics getting the gold medal, fastest. Amazon Prime, fastest. Convenient. Fast and convenient. Customer experience, right? I don't want to wait for you to come over so you can come in my house. It sucks. I don't like to wait in line. I don't want to do any of that. Convenience. We sell trust, race to the face. Right? I buy from people that I can see, right? That you're a real person, and I got to be fast. So when you call, that phone better pick up. When I go on stages, Lance, sometimes I'll secret shop customers live on stage, and it'll ring and it'll go to voicemail, and it has
we see it all the time.
5-star reviews. Pick up the phone. It's a race.
So lead the speed, we call it. You better have lead the speed or you're toast.
Toasted. So we're your Ferrari, man. Like, or whatever.
Listen, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Listen, what's your social handles and how do I get a hold of you?
Yeah, go to LinkedIn, look up James Hatsfield, like Hatfields and McCoys, and then look up Live Switch, LIVESWITCH. Anyone who reaches out to me, I will make time for you. I will not farm you.
I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, James. And if you need anything, let me know, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you soon, James.
Yeah, man, take care.